Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to ExoverseTV. I am Andrew, and I am here with Danny and Derek, 2/3 of the typical crew. What's up, guys?
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, hopefully things don't sound too weird or different right now. We're recording at a new place. I finally got things set up at home.
Champagne popping sound.
Yeah.
We're breaking it in.
Studio a la Drew.
So when this is
the
all
Drudio.
kind of said and done and rendered up, if there's any kind of issues, I will try and get them worked out before the next episode. I can already
That
tell
Dr. Dre
there's-
song?
I got nothing.
We got 12 seconds. You can do it. Oh.
Yeah.
Done.
There you go.
Da-da-da-da.
Yep. Yeah, so hey, we're here to kind of Game of Thrones is over. It's done. And we obviously did review episodes. Sorry. Hey, by the way, this is going to be a work in progress too. I got a little
me to shut the
dog. No, that's okay. Leave it over. She'll just go crazier.
Oh.
If that gets too out of control, I'll just go ahead and be
You brought up that it was
pausing
done. You
shit.
brought up that
Oh
it was done,
my
and
God.
She got all hurt.
Yep.
She's upset.
I can't believe what they did to Daenerys' character.
There's going to be a prequel series. It'll be okay.
Yeah, so I do apologize for the dog. I will.
I listen to plenty of podcasts. There's like dog. People kind of like that. It
Yeah.
gives it a little bit more like this is really recorded in someone's room in their house.
There's some listeners that, what kind of dog is it?
Yeah.
Oh, please say what kind of dog it is.
Can I pet it?
It's like a Chihuahua terrier mix.
So no, I can't pet it. Got
Yeah.
it.
No, she's great.
She's very
amazing. Yeah, she's adorable. She's
Doing her own
a
thing.
bit of a yapper, but I don't know.
She's a noisy little bitch.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
She's a brick house.
Yeah. Yeah, I mostly just feel bad for the neighbors. Hey.
Got it.
Nice.
Nailed it. Yeah, I
There
took care
you
of
go.
that.
Thank you, sir.
Dog whisperer.
That was genius.
or the
That was
dog
Your
beautiful.
face, Caesar Palace, whoever it was who did
the
this.
dog shusher.
Hey, so
Did you shush me? Continue. Sorry.
so Game of Thrones is over, and we had been doing review episodes for each episode of season 8, but we want to kind of do an actual send off for the series as a whole. I know that I started the podcast very, very late into this series and stuff like that, but we were treated with a season 8 documentary last Sunday called The Last Watch. I know that Derek and I were able to catch it. Danny, you were not, but I know that you will, obviously.
Yeah, I will.
And I guess we don't have to worry about spoiling anything. Exactly. Yep.
Shame.
But yeah, that was fun, and we'll talk about that for a little bit here, and then we're gonna kind of do a season 8 review as a whole, and then the series overall, not necessarily a recap of the entire series, but just talk about maybe our favorite characters or storylines now that everything's said and done. As far as the documentary is concerned, I think I said on the last episode we recorded, I thought it was going to be about the entire series.
Yes.
It ended up being about season 8, but that was still really cool. I mean, what a freaking massive production that season 8 was.
Yeah.
They were all clearly stating like, hey, you see why we had to stop here? Like, we can't get any bigger anymore. Like, you see what we're all being put through to put this one together.
I know a lot of people kind of have their minds made up about the season or whatever, but I hope like some of the people that might have been more on the fence, like, wow, the effort they went into on this. Now, I didn't necessarily watch this, but I remember watching this 30-minute episode regarding the Bells episode, where they basically just recreate the city of King's Landing. Because before this, they filmed
was in it as well.
Yeah, they filmed in this city, I believe in Croatia.
Yeah.
And while that was all well and good, you can't destroy a city in Croatia unless you're Russia.
Not without the right permits.
Yeah. Or like fascism. I don't know. But so yeah, they basically did their best to like brick for brick remake the city in a more destructible sort of manner. So again, like when you see that and you see like
Legos.
the effort that went into it, it was the old Godzilla movie. Like just make it kind of small, put someone in a Drogon costume and just go knock shit down.
What it was.
Like just more of an appreciation for it. Like stop focusing on like your character not ending up where they did or how fast they ended up there, and like really just take into account how much went into this.
Yeah. It's incredible that you haven't watched it, because they do have a moment where they specifically state that, where they're like, yeah, we used to film all of this stuff in this place in, I believe, like you said, Croatia. And they're like, but you can't destroy a city in Croatia.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we need to do. And so, yeah, I actually have it noted here. They said it was 7 months to build this King's Landing set, I'll say, in quotation
Belfast,
marks.
correct?
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. And
right in their
backlot.
There's a backlot open area that didn't have anything going on. So
yeah, and fuck, dude, it's not. It's more like a real like theme park. Like the amount of realism that they attempted to put into it. It's not paper mache. No. Walls and stuff like that.
Took less time than Galaxy's Edge. That's all I'm saying.
The set, I want to say she was like the set manager for it. She was talking and she goes, I love when people come up and they just knock on the wall, and she goes, and they're impressed, and she goes, I love that.
Yeah.
And that was really cool.
And it did sound incredible when she did it too.
Yeah, and you could see some pride in her face when she gets to people test it. And
we're gonna burn this shit down.
One of the cool things about this documentary is we meet an extra, like a featured extra, that's been in the show since I guess season 4 or 5, and he's been like a Stark guard. His name's Andrew McClay, and he just seems like a really fun dude. Like that would be such a cool guy to hang out with on set. Yeah, he's just this super fan who
just waiting to get killed off.
Yeah,
and it's every season he's just like, I'm still here.
He gets this like glorious death scene on camera, and it's just like, well, who was that guy? It's like you'll never know.
And and I think it was great because he was like, you're on set and you're doing the part of the extra, and then you watch the episode, and you're like, oh my god, there I am. And like there was a couple, maybe one or two, where he said that like the camera would focus in on the intensity of his face before battle, and he had no idea that the camera was even looking at him.
Yeah, he has a close up in Battle of the Bastards. And so it's really cool because like it's weird because when they show him in the documentary, he looks super familiar. You just don't exactly know why until they finally like show it to you. But you're like, why do I know this guy? Oh, that's awesome. That's right. Oh shit, he's been in there for 5 years or whatever. Yeah.
One of the things was about it was like how all the people in production have become like a family, and like it's the same people each year, and even the extras became, especially the ones that stay alive, become more and more like a family, and so it's just they all know each other by name, and it's sad for them to go. It's not just the main cast, and like everyone's like, oh, what are they gonna do now? Well, what about the people who
don't have really like a very credited role in this, and like they won't get to. They're like, oh, it's in Game of Thrones. Remember that? I know your face.
The people who made the armor, the people who laid out the snow.
Yeah,
which wasn't even real. I was like, you didn't shoot where snow was.
Shout out to Del Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a guy, we meet him too. He's head of snow. That's literally his job on the show. Okay. It's pretty incredible. I thought that was pretty sweet. He seemed like a fun guy too.
Yeah.
Hella down to earth. He's talking about like how they won an Emmy, and he's just like, yeah, we did, but I mean, how you bring that up? Like, what are you supposed to show people that or something? Like, so that guy seemed pretty cool. But yeah, it kind of cut between all of these different head crew members and stuff like that, and they're obviously talking about how nearly impossible it is to pull all of this stuff off, even with the size of crew and everything that they have. You know what I mean? Like they allot themselves what they deem to be necessary to get the job done, and it's still barely enough because it's so massive.
Yeah, it was just impressive.
Yeah. And then the read-throughs seem pretty cool. I know that casts do this a lot and everything like that.
The room looks so expansive, though. I mean, like there's so many people in that room.
Yeah, like that ensemble cast. Like, God, dude, like have you guys watched things like that before? Like with casts that do that? I mean, do they always seem? Because they really do kind of seem like they all get along, that they all really like each other and enjoy each other's company, which I think just kind of like makes it so much more enjoyable of a show to kind of like go back and rewatch too, like scenes of.
I mean, it's really cool to see because like I've been in like read-throughs where we read through the script, the whole cast together, but it's like usually in someone's living room, and it's just like, Mom, we're doing something.
Yeah.
God, when's the pizza gonna get here? Don't interrupt unless you have a pizza in your hand.
Where's that in the script?
And, and you just look at the director, and it's just like, man, like one, the way you talk to your mom. Two, I didn't know we were getting pizza, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I wouldn't have ate beforehand.
Yeah.
No, like I in like drama class, you know, you do read-throughs and stuff of this nature. Obviously not to this extent,
No.
or for this kind of production. Yeah, that was one of the few things I did catch a little bit of. Obviously, a lot of those sort of went a little bit more viral. Be it the Conleth like reaction to his character dying, or like John, obviously the Kit Harington like finding out what he does.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot of talk about the Conleth.
Yeah, again, like you're seeing something that isn't there. I think.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, see, he's not even happy with it. It's like, no,
He's not.
He's that character. Like that's.
He's not excited that his character just got killed off in the show. What's he supposed to do? Cheer?
That's his boy. Like he helped create that character. That's hard. That's a hard read.
Yeah.
People were theorizing that he was
just
he's upset. He also found it so dumb.
Because you remember he closes after the person reads the narration.
Yeah.
He closes it and he throws it back and he leans back.
Okay.
And he gives the person beside like a look. Like, yeah, okay. But really, it's just like that's how he deals with the emotion. I don't think it was that he didn't like the script. I think it was just like, well, shit.
They're creating a narrative that doesn't exist. Like, I mean, like
that's not how. If you have a character in a show, you don't want them to die.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's a very natural reaction.
Still had one more paycheck to go.
Yeah. They have their own bets. Like, man, who's going to be at the end of the season?
Yeah.
Who's going to be alive? We don't know.
Yeah. So we also meet Vladimir Furdik, who plays the Night King.
Yep.
And of course, I think we knew that, but it's also just really cool to see how involved he is in the stunt coordination.
Lead stunt coordinator.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
Was he lead stunt coordinator?
Lead.
Cool. Yeah, because I was curious about that. I think I missed exactly what they titled him as, but yeah, that was really cool. He seemed like a really fun guy. He had done stunt work for like 30-something years before he had ever done any acting on screen. But he was like fun to watch, like in the makeup chair and stuff, him like theorizing or fantasizing about what he hopes the Night King gets to pull off and stuff like that.
It was kind
like, oh, you're so dead, you don't even know
it.
It was kind of cool to see him react with fans too. Like he just like lift his hands up, and all of them just lift their hands up too, like they're just raising.
Yeah, he was so stoked that everybody recognized him.
Yeah,
like,
you're all rooting against humanity.
Yeah,
think about that for a second.
What was really funny?
You're gonna get your wish
because you see Kit get out of a car. And people recognize him from afar, and they're going crazy. And Kit just waves and goes inside. Yeah, in Italy, and where Vladimir, he wasn't sure if they recognized him, so he walked all the way over to the gate. You guys know who I am? He's like, yes, you know. Okay.
Damn, that's good. That's a good impression. That is a good Vladimir. Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, so
to get back, sorry, we were talking about the read-throughs. I mentioned it though, but like again, the one that's getting reposted the most though is the Kit Harington reaction, and I mean like again, like you're telling me like this scene lacks something for you. Like I mean like look at their reaction there. You know how big this scene was. Like,
yeah,
I mean, the scene that did happen, like you were pissed off because it didn't go the way you thought it was gonna. Like those are the people actually doing this, and for their reaction to be what it was, like that was very powerful.
Yeah, and maybe I've just tuned too much of it out, but I haven't heard anybody offer up like really good alternative versions of what should have happened. It's just other fan fiction.
That's sort of my thing. Is that like when people, I hate how. Tell me how. Like, what's your issue? Well, I don't mind how it ended. Okay, so that's what this really is. You're not actually mad at how it ended. You're mad that it ended.
Yeah.
So
and that's what people need to be mature enough to admit is that really is the issue, and that makes it a much easier conversation to have with people too from that point on. You know what I mean? Like to just be like, yeah, you know what? Okay, you know what? I'm just mad because I wanted an extra 5 minutes between this couple here or whatever.
Sure, and I can get that. And again, like what you should have known from the get-go is that the pacing was always going to be what the pacing is.
Well, Jesus Christ.
You can't close me out.
I closed the window. She goes, fine, I'm coming in.
Okay, so we also met David Nutter, one of the directors of the show. He's been on he's been directing episodes on the show for, I guess, in season 3 or 4, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize that he actually took a couple seasons off, 6 and 7, for back surgery, back issues, and then he finally got to come back this season. So that was pretty cool. Obviously not the back issues, but that he got to come back.
Yeah.
And
You demented fuck.
yeah, oh my god. And but
David
yeah,
the Broken.
yeah. But man, his style seems so crazy. Like, he's such a meticulous guy. He's got to have, at least that one assistant that was like, very particular about his style. I mean, I don't know too much about directors and things like that, but you kind of probably know a little bit more. Is that pretty typical?
I've worked with a few. If that's what it is, I haven't worked with professionals.
There's
okay.
there's probably a fine line though between like someone who's meticulous and like desirable, like David Nutter, and then someone like Josh Trank. So I mean, like again, like also like just like this controlling sort of director. But so I mean, that's what I mean. Is that like you have like your very needy directors, but again, as long as they're like accessible.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess
I've worked with people who had binders of notes. I've had people who had almost shot for shot what they wanted drawn out like a comic in notepads and like binder paper and all that stuff. And so I've seen that, but as meticulous as he was, no, I've never worked with anybody like that.
Yeah,
but we can all agree that his episodes are quite good.
Yeah, and I guess his reasoning behind wanting to he focuses so hard on the preparation aspect is because he wants to be able to then just focus completely on the actors once he's on set and not have to worry too much about all the other minutia and stuff like that, right? So that's pretty cool. So I don't know. I thought that was cool. I mean, that was the only director that they actually kind of focused on for the most part through the documentary. I know Miguel Sapochnik also directed a couple of big episodes, and we see him, but we don't spend time really talking to him much or anything like that.
It's your boy. I mean, that's a name that will stick with me forever because of just you talking about Miguel Sapochnik.
Yeah, I hope I'm saying that right. I don't know who I've heard say it that way, but I thought it was like the writers.
I feel like that's the only way I've heard it now.
Yeah. Okay.
First person to name drop
it sound right.
Yeah. Okay. So we also learned a really interesting detail from Andrew McClay, that featured extra. He learns while he's preparing for his scenes during the long night that it's a combined 18,000 Northern and Dothrakian Unsullied forces that were up against the Army of the Dead during that episode. Just to kind of clear that up for people that were curious, 18,000 supposedly.
Yeah.
So holy fuck, right? I mean,
there were 20,000 Golden Company.
Yeah.
I mean,
supposedly.
I mean, that was the number. There weren't that many, but I mean,
yeah, I wonder if it was also, because I guess supposedly during the long night we weren't seeing everybody, they probably had soldiers on the backside of the castle just in case somebody was coming to surprise them or something, right? So is that what maybe happened with the Golden Company? Is that was 10,000 that we saw?
Yeah, you didn't see Drogon cook them the first time. They didn't have the radio help.
Yeah.
Strickland, help.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. That was pretty nuts to me that they actually put a number on it, and 18,000 was the number, and that's what lasted them through the rest of all of those battles. That's fucking crazy.
Because again, so then theoretically 9,000 troops made the march to King's Landing.
Yeah,
so it was almost like everything got halved.
Yeah,
give or take.
Yeah.
I'll give. If you're okay, continue.
Yeah. No, I'll give. Danny. Deciding whether or not he likes this or not.
I don't know what's happening.
Anyway.
You were giving me the option.
Yeah, so that it just leaves me. So I mean, I'm sure we could crunch some numbers. I always thought so what were the Unsullied forces when she? Obviously, we've had some die along the way.
Yeah,
but it never seemed like very many. But how many did she take from Astapor? How many?
Oh yeah, was it 8,000 or something?
It was 8,000, but then there was something like another 6 or something that were not quite Unsullied.
Oh right,
yet.
yeah.
Remember there was the Unsullied scouts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or all the ones that were still slaves.
Yeah, the ones that they were still
yeah.
like sort of in training.
Yeah.
The Dothraki just seemed like endless
Yeah.
until they went to Westeros. Like it just, I don't know. She really should have brought the Second Sons, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But again, then the whole Slaver's Bay slips into slavery again, and
Which is true. But not that
probably
she
still
seemed
will.
to care.
Yeah, probably still will.
Yeah.
Dario's like, oh, she dead? She not coming back? All right,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, so we also, this kind of clears up some of the rumors and stuff that were going around too, that I tried to avoid like, crazy, but I do know that they were around, which was certain things that were going to be happening in King's Landing or characters that we thought were dead that were coming back. And that's because they had decoys. They threw in some weird stuff in especially in the King's Landing scenes where they brought back the Waif and Jack and Hagar. And they just had them on set like they were going to be filming stuff. Like maybe it was going to turn out to be that Arya never survived that fight with the Waif after all, kind of bullshit and like stuff like that. And then they also had, because Vladimir was helping out with all of the stunt coordination anyways, I think they had him dressed up as the Night King
And then Kit
in the King's Landing.
And Kit was in somewhere where he was like in Italy and he didn't even need.
Yeah, they did that with him too. Yeah, and I'm not sure how much else, if they mentioned other characters that they brought back or anything, but they probably did some other stuff too that just didn't make the.
That's actually pretty cool.
documentary.
In a way, that's like a very grown up fuck you to people who like try and spoil things.
Yeah.
Like they get on set pictures and stuff like that. Like, oh my god, look what I saw. And it's like, fuck you. You have no idea what's happening.
Disney's done that with Star Wars where they build certain ships and build droids and they're just like, nah.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, they even show in one of the shots in the documentary, they show a completely different, this whole green screen scene of the Night King dying by falling off of something instead of being shattered by Arya. Did you catch that?
I thought that was the fall from when he fell off the dragon.
Oh shit! Is that all it was? Okay,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
That's
okay.
what I think it was.
Okay. Well, I think did they show it like around the same time that they were talking about the decoy stuff? Is that why maybe I thought that?
It was towards the end.
Okay.
And that was his last shot. It's just filming. When it comes to filming,
I forgot about that dragon stuff. Yeah.
When the filming schedule stuff goes around, you don't shoot everything necessarily at the same time or in order.
Yeah, like Dany's last shot ever as Daenerys was just that shot in the Godswood from like episode 1 when her and Jon just land or something, right? Yeah. So like, yeah, I mean, you're right. It's like it's just kind of random.
It's shot based on when locations are open, when sets are done. It's just like, okay, well, as long as we get everything, it's fine.
Yeah.
Let's just make a checklist of everything.
Also, again, like in a way to sort of mask, like set schedule gets released, Amelia's last shot, and it's like, all right, well, we'll probably have a lot of heads on set. People, I mean, if we don't want to make this such a big scene.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and you almost like mask it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they probably do plan all of that stuff now that the industry,
the age of spoilers,
the age that it's at, and especially spoilers. You're right.
I mean, I don't know if you remember it back in the day. I mean, like after the Jon Snow death, it was like oh my god, he cut his hair. It's real.
Oh yeah.
And then they saw him at Wimbledon or whatever, and he was looking very Jon Snowy, and you're like, okay, well maybe it's not that real. Like it was basically
Hair
like,
grows.
what's Kit Harington up to? Like,
he's like, we have a year off.
They do other things in between. Yeah. He was already in another HBO show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. What was that? Do you remember?
Gunpowder, I believe. It's called.
Okay. Yeah.
Haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
Is it a show about Ichabod Crane's horse from The Legend of Sleepy Hollow?
I think so, but no.
That horse's name was Gunpowder?
Gunpowder.
Oh my god.
Gunpowder.
Yeah, and then so as the documentary's wrapping up, we see some farewells, some those final shots of people in their last moments as those characters for 8-10 years. But they also make a really big moment out of Kit's farewell, and I thought that was really cool. Like I thought that how choked up he gets. Was really nice just to see how much he loved the character in the show, and
how little concerning with the news that's broken recently. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No, what's
about
that?
his recent he's like recently checked into like a sober living.
Yes,
evaluation.
that's right. I
Yeah.
did see that, and I think I just honestly thought that it might have not been real.
Nope.
Like, but that's
That's a real
sad.
thing.
That's
And good for him.
Yeah, recognizing a problem and
Yeah.
trying to get it fixed.
It wasn't just alcohol, from what I've read too. He's under like psych evaluations. And,
Sure. Again,
he's going
it's a
through some
big
stuff.
thing.
Yeah.
His life
Yeah.
went from, again, like for all intents and purposes, he had nothing going for him before this. He became one of the most recognizable people in the industry after it. I mean, and now it's all done.
And
So what's
not
next?
just done, but also
The receiving
the,
of
the,
it.
the disappointment by many.
yeah.
And like the
That's
the
hard.
lack of appreciation in
Yeah.
general. I don't know. Again, like,
You could see him reading at the table read. You
Mhm.
can see he's putting so much emotion into it, and then for him to put literally his all into every scene, whether it be rushed or not, and then for this at the end, just like, oh, worst show, terrible, blah blah, don't watch it.
Oh yeah, exactly.
just like,
well,
oh,
like, you-
Worst ending
that
of
hurts.
all time.
That hurts.
it does.
Yeah. And it's a bunch
So it's
of
all your
bullshit.
fault, fans.
Fuck
Yeah.
all of you.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
God
Anybody who has
damn it.
that feeling.
Guess what? We're gonna go drink tonight, and
I've-
then we're gonna go check into a place tomorrow. Danny and I will be gone for 3 days in a rehabilitation center. Don't look at Facebook.
on the coast.
Yeah, so speaking of the reception that everybody gave or had of the season, what did you guys think overall of season 8? Not the whole show yet, but just season 8. How did it feel to you now that it's over?
So yes, I think the criticisms of season 8, some of them are very warranted. Not the way the story went, maybe just the rate at which it did. I mean, and again, but for me, I don't think you can be all that mad at it in the sense that like we knew it. We knew it was going to be rushed. We got some things as a result that we might not have gotten from 10 episode seasons. Like some the things that we saw again, like I think for me the issue with it was that every time an episode ended, I'm like, I only have such and such more episodes. It was almost like you weren't counting. You were counting down now. Like, it was just like basically even from last season, because you knew in advance that it was only going to be 13 episodes between the two seasons. So you're like, all right, well now we're down to 12 episodes, and we still have all this to answer. Now we're down to 11 episodes, and that's what made some of those really talky episodes in the beginning. While I love the dialogue and stuff like that, almost like.
Made you
We
anxious.
don't have time for all of this.
Yeah.
And then once we got into like the action, it was like, oh, this is
Can
done
we
so
talk
fast.
about
Yeah,
this?
can we talk about this?
Yeah.
It was just such a hard. So again, I don't have an issue with how any of it ended. I really don't. Like, I mean, I thought the story for years was building to a lot of these plot points. If I have any criticism, again, it's just that would I have enjoyed 3 or 4 more seasons of this? Absolutely.
Did any of their decisions shock you or?
Arya taking out the Night King, I think that was one that I didn't see coming. I really didn't. That was I didn't know how he was gonna go. I knew he had to go.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how. I liked it. I was like, oh, I didn't see this coming. All right,
Yeah.
I fuck with that. Like it's, the Daenerys thing again. Like in that moment, I was so uncomfortable when she's sitting there on the top of the the walls of King's Landing, and you can see her wrestling with it. You're like, don't do the thing. Do not do the. And she does the thing.
Yeah.
And then, so I thought again there were a lot of surprising things. There was some interesting sort of fan servicey things. I always kind of found like the Tormund Brienne stuff to be very like funny, but again sort of dragged. Like I was just like, all right, I get it. Like
Let's fist fight about it.
I
could have used a whole season of them.
I think it would have been a little probably way cheesier though
if they
like,
did,
hooked
yeah.
up.
Oh yeah, nothing about them
Yeah.
aligned. Like I know
Yeah,
when I actually almost was like, I will really hate if that's where this ends up, because she disappears right after they make fun of her for being a virgin, and then Tormund comes on like, don't do it, like
Yeah.
don't do the thing, Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Well, order me up a slice of just cheese, please, because I wanted that.
Yeah.
I like some mac and cheese.
I just think I think the season was hyper criticized for everything they did wrong, whether it was a fucking water bottle or a Starbucks cup or just like everything. And then what we talked about before, like, are you mad at how it ended, or are you just mad that it's over?
Yeah.
Really, think about that.
Also, no, there's the whole thing about like everyone has an idea And if it's not that idea, then they're upset.
But that's the thing. Anytime I've talked to somebody, I'm like, so what was your ending? And they can't come up. They can't come up with anything.
Yeah. And
But they all had theories beforehand. It's just now that it's done, how would you want it? How can you go against what they did? That's kind of like what I know happened and what I could come up with is different than what they theorized because there was many different possibilities. A lot they were okay with, a lot I hope not, and then they went this way, and it was like I don't think a lot of people, the fans that are upset, I don't think actually theorized this as a possibility. Danny was going to survive and rule and be the best thing ever,
right?
Ever, okay.
Yeah.
And Arya's my bitch. I've been saying it since season 1.
Yeah.
Arya undone.
And those particular fans maybe just happen to
upset.
see the show as they just saw the show as Daenerys versus Cersei, and they
I'll
didn't
say
care
I've
about
said
the
it
others.
before.
You know.
I'll say it again. They're all just mad because they have to burn their House Targaryen shirts.
Yeah. Their Mother of Dragon shirts.
Mother of Dragon stuff. They're just, well, now I can't wear this. Yeah, it's like a swastika now. Get rid of it.
Oh shit,
it's done. You can't
that
wear
I mean,
that.
there's the Cersei didn't get a just enough ending or whatever. It's like, well, I think she was buried under the keep of where she once reigned. She died as a pregnant woman. In the arms of the man who loved her. I mean, like,
I think I've heard somebody say that it makes perfect sense that she got such an insignificant death because she would have wanted a very grandiose way of going out and taking herself out.
Absolutely,
and that this is almost kind of like a justice in the same way that some people are also hinting towards, like, say, because I said at our last the finale review, I was like, man, I really wish I hate that I hate Grey Worm now. I'm not as happy with Grey Worm as a guy. Like, even as a Missandei fan and everything like that, I was really bummed out with how he feels. And a lot of people are pointing out, like, yeah, well, he's super dead anyways because anybody that travels to that island of Noth that didn't grow up there all get killed by this, like, crazy unknown thing that's in the air anyway. So it's like they're like, oh, he's
no
dead.
antibodies.
Yeah.
It's like visiting Denver.
Maybe he contracted it from the Sunday.
We're not used to this.
Shit, Denver was on my it was on my list for like 2020.
Mile high.
Yeah.
It just kills you.
You're not gonna breathe.
Jesus.
But no, like another thing a lot of people had issue with was that all these people didn't have last words to their death other than Missandei. But
dope ass last words.
Yeah.
She basically told like, hey, a whole like
she got her wish.
Yeah.
yeah. What if she was hoping Dracarys would actually come over and save her?
Right.
And she wasn't actually saying.
I don't actually know what that means. I know you always do something when she says this. I was just kind of hoping you.
Oh, he's still sitting there. But no, like no
she
one
had to make the cone with her hand. That's what it was. He couldn't quite hear it.
A lot of people were just like, well, Danny deserved last words. But I was like, well, did you notice nobody got last words? And I think they were. I don't know what they were trying to say with that, but at the same time, Jorah didn't get last words.
Yeah.
Everybody, no one got last words. Like everyone who died this season just died, and like there's looks, goodbyes.
How many people in this entire series got last words? Like I think of like Robb Stark saying "mother,"
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
But like Ned got nothing.
She got a whale. Yeah. Grief scream.
But if you think about it, like.
The show's never been about last
words. It's really like it's pretty realistic.
Like if the Dothraki had a word for no, maybe that would have been one of them.
But they get the knife and it's just disbelief, whatever, or if they're defending, dying in battle, it's just.
Who had the best last words of all of them? Aerys, burn them all.
Yeah.
And we never saw it. It was on. Other than like in like weird flashbacks.
Yeah.
Again, it was just the idea that like I think that's actually kind of cheesy. Like these people died the way they would fucking die. Like I mean, like
our first
we don't get last words.
Death, Ned Stark. I mean, he just gets his head chopped off. He's just like, oh, what?
Yeah, it's just Andrew, knife to your stomach, monologue, go.
Yeah.
It's just like, but no, I get it. But at the same time, that's very. We want to talk about cheesy. It's a very cheesy thing to do. If say Jorah is being held by Daenerys one last time after that battle, after he defended her for so long.
And he literally says,
they have a long, by the way, I was in love with you this entire time. She's like, yeah, I know, everyone
this is exactly how I always wanted to die.
Yeah. Well, we know. We don't need it. And the fact that he just looked at her and closed his eyes is like, that says a lot more in my opinion.
Yeah. And as far as people talking shit online, you take a minute to like focus in on somebody's death, and everybody's just gonna go, "What the hell?" Meanwhile, everybody's dying around behind you. Like, hello, like this doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like those people just find some way of complaining about whatever is on screen. So fuck that. So
putting people in rehab.
But was there anything? I mean, Derek, what were your thoughts? I mean, how do you feel about it overall?
I think we hit it. I think we hit the nail right on the head. We can, if you, the first 3 episodes, probably warranted on complaining about pace. After the 3rd episode, 4 and on, if you're still complaining about
3
pace,
was Battle of Winterfell.
True, you're right, but like still.
So you're talking about the first 2?
We know the pace was happening fast. That's what I'm getting
Okay.
at. But by the
last season,
I see what you're
yeah,
saying.
by like the 4, 5, 6 episode, if you're still complaining about the pace, like you knew
know.
that was happening.
Do you think it was going to slow down?
Yeah, it's just like, okay.
You already got them to edit in a scene where he pets Ghost. Like they're not going to do anything else.
They already took the cup out. Like
yeah, that complaint suggests that you just had your mind made up. Like you just don't want to like
Exactly.
it.
You're not you're not accepting it as it coming to you.
Yeah.
You've already made up your mind where it's going to be, and when it doesn't get there, you're like, well, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Why? Because you didn't think of it. Like.
Yeah, it's like complaining.
It's like watching like the new Star Wars films, and like the 3rd one's about to come out, right, of this new trilogy, and just being like, this fucking sucks, man. There's still no Jabba. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, he's not coming back.
Yeah. Beyond that, without getting too into it, it's the whole Last Jedi. It's honestly been a thing since The Last Jedi, it feels like. It's like, Last Jedi didn't go the way people wanted it to, and it's like, well, that's fucking stupid.
You're right.
Like, that was such a huge thing with that.
And but so based on the just pacing alone, I was fine with where the story went. I'm fine with how they did it. And when it came to the last episode, I was very happy with it.
Yeah.
And I think the last episode might be my favorite just because I was sitting there and I was getting to say goodbye, and like it wasn't leaving anybody out really. It was like here, but it wasn't like overly done like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Where they're all hopping on the bed.
Yeah. And then like skip to 5 years later and stuff like that. No, I think they did a good job. Like I was just one of those things where like when the credits hit. Yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, that makes it my favorite episode of the season.
Yeah.
And the Danny Jon Snow thing, I never wanted it to be anyway because it's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not on the scale of wrong on this show.
Yeah.
Of the incest you've justified, this doesn't even touch the.
So and then like there's the whole like did I want Daenerys to be the bad guy? No. Did it look like she was going to be? Yeah.
There were signs.
Yeah,
like,
and I was just like, well, maybe they'll change her. Well, that person's dead, so maybe the rest of them will. Oh, she killed him too.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. Oh, he quit. Well, fuck.
Yeah.
Let's see. John Stabber. She's fucked up. So
yeah, they don't get to choose. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That done
really
did it.
Powerful scene.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, I loved season 8. I did not. I couldn't help but notice and bring up the pacing stuff just because people. It's fair to kind of. I feel like it's fair to point out like because I loved Varys' character so much, you kind of go like, oh man, if they were gonna still do a whole nother season, I can see his death getting an entire episode. You know what I mean? Like, but that's not me complaining about them not doing it. It's just sort of me going like, just that as a fan who doesn't want to say goodbye to everybody, but you can't be.
You can't be selfish.
Again,
well, you can't act like. I mean, what's gonna happen because. Like, you can't undo that just because you don't want it to end. Are you going to take over financing and writing and production of the show? Like,
HBO's not doing any favors by coming out and saying, like, oh, we were going to finance this for another 4 or 5 years. Or
that's
it's just
true.
like,
And
you're not helping.
Yeah.
Forgive me if we spoke about this on the last episode, but now George R.R. Martin the book is going to be different. No, you can't say this is how it ends and then change it.
No. So it's not going to be I've seen the articles and they're like, oh, he's going to have a different ending, or he's mad about where the show's going. And if you actually like read the articles and what he's actually quoted as saying, it's very misinterpreted.
Because
Now,
it's going to be way more detailed for sure.
It's going to be. It's always been way more detailed, but the ending is going to be the same, give or take.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
Yeah, he said something on Twitter or something like that, where he said, you know, to
like, don't be a fan service guy. Right? Make your book. Like,
Yeah.
I get that you have people like lashing out, but again, if Daenerys was always going to die, then write it a little bit more to the point where like so people see the descent a little bit better, perhaps.
Oh, and that's exactly what will just happen naturally because it's a book. Like,
yeah,
and it's
I
mean,
know. Like, why is
like,
this so hard to like?
Yeah, like that
fathom.
will get fleshed out a lot more. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So for season 8, not the whole show yet, but for season 8, what was your sort of favorite storyline that was wrapped up in this season, or you got like an MVP or anything like that for the season? We'll start with Danny.
So again, this sort of falls into like the criticism realm, though. But I mean, I just felt like there wasn't ever like a storyline that was ever firmly established. I guess if we're talking about. And I know we discussed this after the Bells episode, but like I guess the conclusion to like something like a Clegane Bowl or something like that.
Yeah.
That was like an old. I'm trying not to. It's probably one of yours. I don't.
Oh,
want to
that's
steal
mine.
that.
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay
so,
though. We can talk
Thief.
about it all night.
Thief.
Assassino. So other than that, I will go ahead and say, because I just, if I'm being honest, it kind of sucked. Like in my mind, I suppose. No, okay, I'll go with because this was gonna go into my series overall too. But like again, Theon's redemption.
Yes.
Just finally getting. And again, like I get it. He just this fool's charge at the Night King that was never going to amount to anything. But it's like that is the antithesis of the character he'd been up to that point. Even last season, when he could have done the same thing to his uncle or whatever, and maybe it would have cost his sister's life. Maybe it wouldn't have. But for him to look into the face of certain death and not blink.
Yeah.
I mean, I get
Charged at it.
and beyond that, like just his redemption overall, I suppose.
And it's still got its little kind of, you know, for the super nerd, super fan. It's got that callback to season 1 when Maester Luwin was like, "Hey, what is there going to be a battle here in the Godswood?" And that's exactly where he dies, is a battle in the Godswood.
If it comes to that, you know, I'll protect you.
Yeah.
Like,
He's talking to Rob, but I mean, still, he's talking to Stark.
Talking to a Stark,
he's talking to a Stark. Yeah.
And again, as a result, getting we talked about it before the show, getting his own pop figure in, and
Yeah.
I'll be hunting that one down
Hell
super hard.
yeah.
That's my
Yeah,
my boy.
Yeah, these season 8 ones are actually pretty dope.
They
They're
are.
pretty fun stuff.
People find no reason to complain about him.
So he's kind of your season 8 sort of standout, and his storyline was your favorite.
Yeah, but again, like overall, that'll even probably go into my series overall too. I mean,
Okay.
I'll expand it.
Yeah, no, that's great. What about you, Derek?
I liked for this season. I would have to say Sansa.
Yeah,
I know it sounds really weird, but because a lot of people think Sansa's annoying, especially with her
I hear
loose
the
lips,
opposite. People love
loose lips and all that stuff.
Mm.
But I have to say Sansa, just her. I guess it goes into the series as well, but especially in this one, she's not the only Stark again, and you know Jon's back with her, and Arya's now back in the picture, all this stuff, but she's still holding it down for Winterfell. She's the only one with. They all want the hope for Winterfell, and they all they see a bigger picture, and she sees the bigger picture too. But she's trying to already think of when this is done,
Yeah,
who's gonna hold it down for Winterfell, and the fact that she stuck with that.
Yeah.
And at the last episode when she brought it up to Bran, and the reason why there are only 6 kingdoms, like I was like, good for you, girl.
yeah. Oh,
I really liked that. And
Yeah,
so-
no, identifying that, like, yes, Bran is my brother and the king, but I'm looking at the future of the North.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like a power grab for her. It
Nope.
was like for the people of the North.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's been around too many bad leaders and learned from them, learned a lot, and so why not use those and use it towards Winterfell's
Yeah.
future?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I like both. I like both those choices because I think Theon's been one of my favorite characters. I think I was not I wasn't quite into what they kind of did to him in season 7. just kind of like
the relapse into the PTSD realm, or
yeah. Well, I did. My issues there were kind of nitpicky, just the way that the internet responded to it, And I was just kind of like, God damn it! Like, yeah, I don't know why they quite handled that scene that way and stuff like that. Where it's like, yeah, I understand him having the PTSD issue, but blah blah blah. Anyways, the point is I love that he finally was able to redeem himself. I never hated his character. I just sort of didn't love how they did his character kind of dirty in season 7 that way. I felt that they could have handled the PTSD part a little bit differently, but yeah, they wrapped that up well. Sansa, I never liked her character until season 8. And then so that's cool that she's kind of your pick because like I really did enjoy her in season 8 and I was happy that I was finally into what she was up to. And stuff like that. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
No, go for it.
I think like the Hound is such a big character to me that the way that they wrapped things up with him is probably my go-to. That's right up there. If I'm trying to like reach for sort of a more standard or a larger character or storyline, though, I'm happy that after everything that John's gone through, that he finally gets to be free.
He does.
Like as free as he cares to be. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. I thought that was really nice.
And that's the thing. And people, like, one of their big takeaways is that, like, man, he should have been king. It's like, bro, that's the last thing
Why do you want that for him? He doesn't want that.
He doesn't want it.
What kind of fan of Jon Snow are you? Like, yeah, that shit's so mean. Yeah, so I would go with Jon Snow as my sort of MVP and favorite character of the season. That's probably kind of like an easy one, but
I think it's the opposite. I think they've gotten so much backlash with his character, and it's just like it's unfair backlash.
It's really easy to mess up and hate a hero. It's really easy, and the fact that Jon Snow's character.
They all wanted to have the ending scene, him sitting on the throne and getting coronated, like that.
And crying, like what?
He's do I have to shave?
Yeah.
He's never been one about the glory. He's never been always a man of honor, no doubt about it. Mm-hmm. But like every stop, like it's just like, do you see how fast he gave up being like king in the north for the most? Like they named it to him. He's like, all right, well I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
Like he's so uncomfortable with it.
I'm king in the north. They have glass down here. I gotta go look at that.
Yeah.
Can't someone else go? No,
I gotta go. No. I'm a glass expert. I'm a glasster.
I'm a glass man. Yeah, everyone knows it.
So the series overall. So, now that everything's said and done, not to obviously, I think all three of us here would kind of prefer to just stay positive. We don't have really big complaints or anything like that of the series or anything like that, and that's exactly why we're doing these podcast episodes about this stuff.
I'm just kidding.
But
get it?
How would you know? You skip over it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, but I know that 3.5 minutes, or is it 2.5 minutes or something? That song.
I don't know, but I watched every single one after you guys.
Oh shit! Okay. And did you notice all the subtle little differences? There probably weren't that many more through the rest of season 8.
So season 2, you had busted up. If I have one complaint. With
the
final
shit!
Episode,
here we go.
One complaint with the final episode. In that scroll, King's Landing is still whole. Like I mean, like they.
Is it?
It does. It's not burned down.
I thought it was.
They could have changed it.
Dude, it should have just been a pile of ash. Should have been Alderaan. Like it should have just been nothing.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
I
remember between episodes,
Tyrion's face just
between episodes like so after episode 3, so like for 4 and on, Winterfell was all disheveled. Like all the floorboards were all busted up and things like that. Not the same with King's Landing.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, but at the same time, how long do you think it takes them to do that? Where they're just like, okay, do it again.
So, but they felt the need to say something, point out Winterfell's destruction at that battle. But then, like, you're gonna have King's Landing be like, we took.
Well, maybe they did do it, and they fucked up on
chin.
editing.
There is my one gripe. You're welcome. That's.
You know what my one gripe is? Danny didn't watch the documentary. He's a huge fan.
Oh, damn.
Dude, it is 2 hours.
Yet he watched Endgame twice in the first opening weekend.
I still provided ample sort of talking about said documentary that I didn't even watch. He even said, like, I can't believe you didn't watch it. Like, you basically just quoted something from it.
That is true.
But you watched a clip of that was probably from that.
Probably,
it was the same thing.
Probably.
Fuck.
And that was like a 30-minute thing, so that's like a fourth of the documentary.
Can you believe we're going to be in a car together for like 8 hours tomorrow?
Hey, so you'll have plenty of time to watch it then.
Oh, I'm driving.
You're not driving.
No, see? But I'm going to hold the phone up to him.
Just watch it. Just watch it.
Yeah.
Here's Sapochnik. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah. Vladimir.
So does the way that anything wrapped up, do you think it's going to affect whether or not you'll ever go back and rewatch certain episodes? Are there things you're no longer as interested in as far as maybe stuff that you planned on going back and trying to like, oh, did I miss this clue here and there, and then now you don't care? Or
so someone I recently started dating, she's not watched a single episode of it. So I'm actually really excited to go back and watch. Now that the story is completely concluded, rewatch it. I don't know that there's going to be a whole lot of stuff that I missed that's going to definitely tie into like season 8.
Yeah.
And again, like having rewatched it as many times as I have, especially like the early seasons.
How many times do you think you've watched?
Probably seasons 1 through 3, all the way through at least probably like 3 times.
Cool.
Yeah.
I watched I watched season 1 twice. I watched season 7 twice, and I think there was another one in the middle there twice, but I'm not sure which one.
Okay.
I don't think it was 2, but anywhere but 3 to 6. I watched one twice.
So it was like season 1, watched that, and then season 2 aired, and then after season 2, but before season 3, I watched 1 and 2 again, and then for season 4, I watched 1, 2, and 3 again.
Oh, okay.
But that was the last time I did that.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I didn't do 1, 2, 3, and 4 for that.
So.
But so those early seasons, no, I mean, I think if anything, for me, I'll start to notice. I will probably notice when they go off book, if that makes any sense, because there's a lot of stuff they set up in the show, almost early on. A lot of stuff with like the Baelish, and I'm not saying Baelish didn't get like a just sort of like he got caught in one of his games finally. I get that. But like a lot of Baelish stuff, even a lot of Varys stuff that like never really comes to fruition.
Yeah.
That'll kind of be like, oh, like, but probably pan out in the books or something, somewhere where they can be a little bit more detailed.
Yeah.
Like,
at least it's still like amazing acting and
it is. Oh
stuff.
yeah, no,
like,
I'll absolutely love
worth
it. Worth
rewatching
again, like,
for that alone, pretty much.
It'll be a little bit of the weight off the shoulders because again, like knowing how something ends, it does sort of alleviate it. Like, I mean, you brought it up, the whole Endgame thing, but like watching Endgame the first time, I was so tense because I didn't know how it was going to end, and it wasn't until I went back and watched it after I'd already seen it that like I could kind of enjoy everything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, no, it doesn't change my outlook. Again, like what will be very weird for me is that the first 6 seasons are so almost like not glacial in their pacing, but like very intricate, and like there are like what one would deem like filler episodes, but it's a lot of information that's important to the story.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just balls to the wall. Like for season 7 and 8 are just so fast paced.
Yeah, you could almost like describe it like they're very. Those previous seasons seem very comfortable in their skin and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden it just seems like something spooked.
But again, like so show me the budget for the every episode for the first 6 seasons, and then show me the budget for like and even like the big episodes, and then show me the budget for the ones this season.
Yeah,
I mean like the sprawling sets, like just the attention to detail, and a lot of that is just They pulled out all their big guns, and I think it worked for some people. I think there are probably more people okay with it, but don't feel the need to speak on it. Yeah. But it's the vocal minority that are just like, or it's like they're bombarding Rotten Tomatoes and shit like that, and like, oh, this is garbage. But that happens with everything. Yeah. Every single thing.
Yeah. Derek, what about you? Did it kind of make you feel differently about any of these past episodes or seasons?
No. I mean, if you think about it with the pacing, it really makes you appreciate the other ones more and the time you've had with it, and it kind of just shows that they were on a timetable, and one they created, yes, but they gave us as much as they could, and with the timetable they set, and it makes you go back and realize that the time we've had with all these characters and the detail they give us and the conversations we've had that led up to all this stuff. It's powerful. It's really well done. And I don't have any faults to the past show or the past seasons.
Yeah.
I look forward to watching them again. I'll probably be one of those idiots that pay the $999.99 for
Yes.
the complete pack
Yes.
of whatever.
Even though I already own all the seasons.
Purple laser disc ray platinum.
What is your favorite season?
Favorite season? I don't want to sound cheesy and say number one. I really like season 1, but I watched that one probably that one. As soon as I got done, I watched it again.
Yeah.
Okay, I would have to say my favorite season definitely had to do with the Red Wedding, Rob Stark.
Okay, season 3.
Season 3, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was 3 or 4. I didn't want to say I didn't want to be wrong, but Rob Stark and his rebellion against, I was like on board. I felt like I was on a horse with him. Like, let's fucking do this for your papa.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and then just didn't go the way we thought.
No.
So, which was,
all.
I think, was the biggest, or one of the biggest ones where we're going, okay, we're never going to know what's happening.
Yeah.
And I think that was a huge impact on me as a fan for the show. It's just like, okay, from here on out, it's just like, fuck, okay.
Yeah.
Don't trust anybody or anything, not even the writers.
Yeah.
So I'd have to, season 3 was probably the most standout one for me.
Again, it sounds cliche, but like all the seasons are great in their own aspect. I really like ones that stand out to me are probably from a cinematic standpoint. Like the tide really turned for me in season 6.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, season 6 when you got that Battle of the Bastards episode and you got the one with Baylor.
Yeah.
Those episodes are like, again, like I can watch that opening to Baylor. Just like, I mean, like the score of like that entire opening scene, not really even knowing what's happening until it kind of comes upon you. Such a great, like, again, like that's probably that 2-block episode right there might be the greatest 2-block in the entire series.
Yeah, you might be right.
Battle of the Bastards followed right by Baylor.
I don't think there's an argument there.
Yeah.
Because again, like it's like episode 9 was always such the big episode, and we got Battle of the Bastards, like okay, and then 10 was like hold my beer, like
yeah,
and then obviously it slows down a bit for the rest of that episode. I mean, you find out some things that's where you kind of find out about John's lineage. So he doesn't find out, obviously. But we know at the very least he is the son of Rhaegar at that point. Yeah. By the end of that episode, it kind of alludes to it with the baby and then like onto his face. Another Dark Horse one, I really liked 4.
Nice.
So
okay.
4 was the one.
A lot of Arya.
4 was actually not even so. Again, like I know people love Arya, and I don't dislike Arya, but Arya just was never my girl.
Okay.
Arya is undoubtedly a badass character,
but never really hooked up with it. Like
she's
I was
not the show leader.
She was always a great character. I always kind of pegged her like, when is she gonna die? Like I just
right. Yeah, I was surprised that she made it till the end.
To end up with 4 Starks. Well, 3.5, but whatever.
Yeah.
For me, season 4 was really sort of the turn of the tide for the good guy, if that makes any sense. So, because you had season 3 end on that like ultimate like, what justice is there in this world? Like, I mean, to have like the Red Wedding, I mean, to be murdered at a feast like that. So for season 4, you had the death of Joffrey, which come on, who didn't rewind that one like 3 or 4 times, like just watching that little fucker choke to death.
Wedding.
So you had that. You had the trial of Tyrion, which he has that like very rousing speech during it. I don't remember it like verbatim. Surprisingly, I know people, but no, he's where he basically says he's on trial for being a dwarf. Like I mean, he's been on trial his whole life, stuff like that. You have that. You have Oberyn Martell, where you're like, I don't know you, but I fucking like you. And the minute you feel like that, you're like, you're gonna die, aren't you? Like that was the first time I ever felt like that with a character, because it was after the Red Wedding, and I'm like, don't fall in love with anyone. You fall in love with Oberyn, you're like, oh, I know what this means.
Yeah.
You have episode 9 is Battle of Castle Black, I believe, in that one.
Yeah.
Great episode.
Yeah,
very powerful episode. I mean, John watching. It feels like old news at this point, but like watching. What's her? What was her name?
Ygritte.
Yeah, Ygritte die at the hands of Pip.
Yeah,
little fucker Pip. He should have killed him. Should have killed him right there.
Oh my god.
Again, and
Pip
then
makes my blood boil. Or not
God,
Pip. That's not his name.
Ollie.
Ollie. Yeah.
And then, God, and now I'm thinking. No, I'm just gonna keep thinking. So if I want to go most startling, I know it's not on here, but episode that got me more than any episode because I didn't just see it coming. Hard Home. To this day, Hard Home.
Oh, nice.
Because again, like you go, Hard Home is set up in such a way they're just going up there to negotiate, and you see like because you've never seen it to that point.
Yeah.
Hard Home sets such a precedence. Again, for all of the things that people think the books get right that the show doesn't, the show nailed that because that happens off script.
Exactly.
That happens off in like a scene. Like you just hear about something that happens at Hard Home, like all the people are gone there or something. That scene made you fear the Army of the Dead. Because before then, you were every Southerner. You were like what does it matter? Like it's just zombie guys. And you saw how relentless it was. You saw how unforgiving and how like it couldn't be stopped. Yeah. I mean, like whether it was like them throwing themselves off a cliff to like make a body pile so like the ones that fell after that wouldn't have such a hard fall.
Yeah.
You saw how unkillable White Walkers were until like the Valyrian steel thing happens. And you saw like how hard it is to be a human being. I mean, you see like one of the most hardened northern like wildlings like just killing all the, and then she just sees the group of kids and it's like, I can't do this. Like those are, I don't care that there's like those are children. Like I can't kill children, and it doesn't matter. They're not children. Like they're just meat for this army. And then he goes to the fucking docks, and then he did the arm race, and then he's just like, I don't know how you beat this.
No.
Again, like probably single-handedly the best episode, best 20 minutes of any episode ever, right there.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah. Sorry, I
pick.
stole everything. So yeah, in a roundabout way, every fucking season.
Yeah, yeah, because I think season 6 was going to be my pick, and then I was going to give special love to season 3. So you guys both tackled all of those. So basically, the only thing I would just also point out is just
season 2 was good too.
Yeah, I was
also.
I was blown away by how good season 2 was because I was being introduced to like completely different characters that weren't even in season 1.
Yeah,
and I was just like, I didn't know. I don't know. I felt like it would have been so easy for me to like just not give a shit and just kind of go like, okay, HBO doesn't know what they're doing anymore, you know, blah blah blah. But I fell in love with like this whole entire new set of characters too. Brienne of Tarth, Davos, all of them you meet.
Yeah,
you know,
season 2 really introduced. Like, I think season 2 we really started as a people really learned that you could really fucking loathe a fake character as much as we do as King Little Shitbag.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He was whiny and like shitty, and it's like, okay, whatever, you suck. But season 2 cemented him as like an all-time villain, and not like all the hats off to Jack Leeson in the world.
Dude, amazing actor, and the fact that
he's never done anything since.
No, and he won't. He bought a theater production in England or somewhere in England. He bought a theater production and or theater venue.
Yeah,
and he
produces plays.
They produce plays. They teach. There's a bunch of students that come in there and learn whatever. They do puppets. They do a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, because honestly, in any movie you ever seen, he's gonna be like, hey, look who it is.
Yeah, but I mean, like you even see Ramsay doing shit. Like I mean, like some all time shitty people on that show still doing shit. For Joffrey, it was like, I made one of, if not the most hateable villains in the entirety of episodic television. Yeah. What did it cost you? Everything.
I would say the one difference between Joffrey and Ramsay was Ramsay, as evil as he was and how fun it was to hate him, he was a badass.
Yeah.
He's a little shit, but he's a badass. Where Joffrey, I'm glad you did that because he could sneeze bitchy.
Yeah.
Like
was that a bitchy cough?
No.
I don't know. When he would get put in it,
it was just funny because I was about to say if he sneezes, everyone's like, that was a bitchy. And he could roll out of the bed and people are like, I don't like the way you fucking did that.
I love the scenes where like Tywin would give him that verbal spanking. Like that was like so great.
The king is tired.
I'm not tired.
But no, it's just because yes, he's in season 1, but season 2 is when you really like.
It's not until episode 9 of season 1 that you really even start to see.
Yeah, but season 2 is just like, I didn't even know I could hate someone this much.
And then season 3 just keeps building. It's like, oh my god, when are you going to fucking die?
Yeah.
And then he drank wine.
Huh? They timed it right.
They did.
Yeah, they gave you just enough time to absolutely hate that motherfucker. Favorite character of the whole show?
Oh, Euron Greyjoy.
Euron Greyjoy. Oh my god!
I can't do it.
I'm about to wreck this room.
I'm the man who killed Andrew's podcast.
And then just cut away.
Yeah. Man, I'll go ahead and start with this one. I know, man, I don't know what my issue is, but the Hound is still just so incredible to me. Like, I know that you said, I remember you mentioning that you didn't feel like you quite got enough of like between him and his brother.
Yeah.
But do you remember, what was it? Was it season 4 when do you remember him talking to Arya about how hurt he was about how it was his brother, though it was like when she kind of sews him up and stuff like that, wasn't it? I think like that was like enough for me to kind of like, I didn't need to see his brother hurt him anymore. I just needed to see how hurt he was by that, to get enough of what that whole thing meant to him.
It's definitely something I'm going to pay attention to on my rewatch.
Yeah.
Truthfully. I mean, again, like I think you can only like so many characters that as a whole. So for me, again, it was the fact that I genuinely grown to like love Theon's character and how hard I had to fight everyone about it. So like the Hound was a fan favorite. I'm like, fuck the Hound. He just got a weird face.
Yeah.
So it's like I felt like I was fighting against everybody.
I see.
That's what it was. I mean, he was kind of universally loved. I'm like, why? Because he says cunt all the time. That's not fair. He doesn't even do anything. He cuts people in half with his sword.
Yeah.
I would have to say. There's 3.
Nice.
I would have to say. I actually, while you guys were discussing that, I was actually dwindling the number down.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
It was 11.
I would have to say Jorah and Davos.
Nice. Okay. Yes.
Easily those two together combined. I don't like one more than the other, but seriously, I think without her, we didn't have a lot of struggle. So she was just. Andrew dead, and it was poison.
Did you have some of the pigeon pie?
It was poison.
The strangler.
Wow.
The
This
strangler.
was definitely the purple podcast.
Yeah. Who tried to chug the last of that water, and
Spicy.
I got a small mouth.
It's big in different ways.
Yeah.
But no, and seriously, I thought phenomenal acting. Just there was a lot of times you could see her. Even in her strength, she had weak moments.
Yeah.
It was just, I think, well done. Really good villain.
Yeah, fantastic actress. Yeah. And, like, consistently, like, amazing in every season.
Yeah, and you can't have a good heroic story without a good villain.
Yeah, that's true.
And she was perfect.
There you go. And I love that you giving love to Davos, because that was my number 2 guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pure.
I did drop Bronn and Tormund.
Okay. Yeah.
I do love them, but this last season, there wasn't a whole lot to go off of for me to.
I wish they had more interaction. I mean, I guess they're basically each other's counterparts. One's in the north, one's in the south.
Correct.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, obviously very different.
But yeah, I dropped him.
Bronn was a very fantastically created character too.
Yeah.
I still think he should have got. I do love that he lived, but I think there was a part in season 7 he could have died that would have made his character like immortalized his character when he forgoes the bag of gold to like shoot down the dragon. If he'd have just gotten destroyed right there,
Well, the actors.
I think that would have been a good out.
Right.
That actor actually wasn't happy with the ending of.
Oh, he wasn't?
No, he came out and did a little video
Okay.
and expressed that he wasn't exactly.
That's the most Bronn thing in the world.
Yeah.
So
It's just I think he's
you're
still
just
in
proving
character.
it right. You're
Yeah.
just proving it right. But Bronn and Tormund would definitely. If there was a layer 2,
Yeah.
they were on layer 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
For all I won't go into like so we all know about the Theon stuff.
Oh, tell us about it. I don't think you've done
no.
episodes
So
on it.
This is the perfect moment, though.
I've
to,
already talked
be
at
as
great length.
thorough as you'd
Yeah,
like to be.
I mean, we talked about it in the very first episode. Yes, I love him. So I'll go with a different character who maybe didn't get the ending that everybody wanted, but I think he got the ending that if he could have picked his ending, he would have done this, and that would be Jaime Lannister. Again, a character that you probably not straight up loathed, like from the get-go. He was just so smug. He had that fucking prince look to him. He looked like the prince from Shrek. And then, I mean, like, the first thing that you really remember about him is crippling Bran out the window. And he's just he's the sister fucker, and then he's the guy who tries to kill Ned Stark, and he's just so smug about everything. He's so pretty. Like, what this guy doesn't have a care in the world. And then just his spiral, basically, after getting beat at the Whispering Wood, does that happen in season 1? Is that the end of season 1?
Yes.
Yes, end of season 1. To be beaten there, become the prisoner, then kind of set free, and then his whole arc through season 3 in his journey with Brienne. Like, when you find out about because he's just this shitty guy who broke his oath. I mean, like, he killed the one person he was supposed to protect, and then it really comes to fruition why he did everything that he did. Just the honor that he truly had, really just sort of grow as a character. And then, at the end of it, I guess you could say that, like, maybe they kind of dropped the ball a little bit with him. But I love how he rebukes Cersei to go and fight for humanity. There was a part of me that really wanted him to go back and kill Cersei when all was said and done. But I did truly love the ending for him to, like, to again die with, the way that if you had, like, asked him how he wanted to die, like, if you could pick any way to die, bunch of rattlesnakes out there. But Jaime Lannister, probably like a top 3 character on the show.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, and I
was so much more than initially you probably thought.
Were you going to list another person too?
No, again, like, the Theon stuff's pretty well stated.
And I know a bunch of people are going to, how dare you not list Tyrion? Peter Dinklage did so good, no one needs to. Like, he was beyond.
That's not fair. You're right. Tyrion Lannister is the MVP of this entire show.
Yeah. I guess it kind of just almost goes without saying.
It is.
Yeah,
It really does.
I know, and that's what I'm getting at.
From episode 1 to episode 70, what did we get to? 73? 73?
Peter Dinklage's performance.
He was in every single episode in some way, right?
Was he?
I'm not entirely sure, but
I felt like every character skipped out on a couple episodes each season.
I don't think Tyrion missed a single episode.
Really?
I really don't.
He was always part of something.
Okay.
I don't know for certain.
Like what about, like, The Wall? Like the episode The Wall. I mean, Beyond the Wall when in season 7.
Oh, you're right.
Like things like that. Maybe.
Yeah, you're right. But I would say that he probably, at the very least, tied, if not had, the most appearances.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
You're right. Because the Beyond the Wall episode was all Beyond the Wall. Though, was he not even on the boat? Like, even just briefly?
Oh, does he end up just showing up at the end of the episode anyways?
47 of 51.
That's an old list. There's no way there's only 51 episodes.
You're right. That was 2016.
But at least at that point, he had missed 4 of the episodes. So, yeah. Okay.
It just felt like he was in every episode.
Yeah.
He had a little part in each episode.
Yeah.
Little.
Funny. But yeah, but his performance was beyond the show. So for us to say, like, oh, well, he was my favorite. Well, get the fuck out of here. Why don't you think a little bit more about it? Like, that's where we're going. We were thinking in depth on who we were thinking of character.
You're right. Again, isn't it weird? Because, like, the sort of running joke on it is that, like, when the Maester writes the Grand Maester writes the history of the wars after the Baratheon, or the death of Robert Baratheon, he's not even in it. And look at us talking about the MVP, and we don't even think about him.
Fuck.
And I know Daenerys and Jon Snow, excellent performances. But at the same time, if you really have a favorite, you're looking at more depth of the show, and I really think so.
Yeah.
If they're your favorite, I think you probably were bored a lot through this season.
Yeah.
Well, not just this
you
season,
were the mad
series.
people. Yeah, you were the ones who were mad.
Yeah, you were probably bored a lot throughout this series completely, and a lot of episodes that you didn't like, or maybe skipped through, fast forwarded through. I don't even know. You on your phones a lot. I don't know. But
overall,
good
overall, the three of us very, very happy with the series, which makes these podcasts a lot of fun. And we wanted to give a proper send off to the show that wasn't just a final goodbye at the end of the season finale review.
Yeah.
So that's what we were doing here tonight, and we can kind of just go ahead and say thank you very much to everybody that put the show together and gave us all of this.
I know you'll never hear this Benioff and Weiss, but like, we don't hate you in the way that everyone else seems to.
No, I know that I couldn't do anything close to what they did.
No.
And I don't.
It's just funny to me. Thinking like as an actor, and to work on that scale, it's intimidating.
Yeah.
Would I love to get there? Yes, but it is intimidating to even look and watch. It's just wow. But no, typically
the three of us, at the very least, the three of us feel like you did a phenomenal job throughout all of it.
Yeah.
And we're appreciative that we got to witness something like that.
Yeah.
And Kit Harington,
tell me anything that even stands a chance that currently exists that could like even potentially touch Game of Thrones.
I know,
you'd be lying to yourself.
I would say what's
You're lying to
I
yourself.
wouldn't say what could touch it, but I was saying what's probably the closest would be Breaking Bad.
Oh, but yeah, no, I'm talking about from this sort of production set. No, I would even probably say like
production wise. Oh no, yeah, they just did in Albuquerque. They just they set.
You're talking about
scale
and
scale.
budget.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was thinking
Breaking Bad's done.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's not.
Because shut up. The show is done.
I mean, we might see some of
kidding.
these upcoming Star Wars series and stuff. Obviously, trying to be as large and grand.
But yeah, I
and
see
stuff
what
like
you're
that,
saying.
but
It's I wouldn't even call it the new standard, but it would be like for me, it's like, all right, that's our best shot.
Easily the biggest production show, productive wise show. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. The biggest show that like has been on television yet.
Oh yeah,
production wise,
absolutely.
Set, cast.
I'd be shocked. I would truly be shocked if, I mean maybe not shocked, but I'm very. I don't see anything that could ever touch this.
They reached for the stars and got really fucking close.
Yeah,
they did good.
Yeah,
but Kit Harington, best of wishes for you to get better. And all that
buddy.
stuff.
Yeah,
get it together.
Absolutely. Yeah, we very much love you.
He's gonna listen to this.
Yeah. No, I know. I don't know if anybody listens to any of this. I really. This is going to be episode like 10 or 9 or something, and I haven't really gotten any feedback yet, but it's still been fun to do.
Oh.
And
we picked the worst season to start this.
I know. Yeah. Well, just easing into Exoverse
In
TV
fairness,
with
we didn't know Andrew the last 7.
That's true. Yeah.
So blame Andrew.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is kind of my fault. So,
Thanks for taking it.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining me, at least on the first episode at the new setup and everything like that. And
The Exo Lounge. I'm coming up with a name.
Yeah, there you
Exo
go.
Lounge,
I don't dislike that.
No.
So make sure you follow these guys on Facebook and Twitter at the Retox Podcast. You guys have new episodes. One that just came out this last week.
Yeah,
you said is one of your best ones yet, right?
No, it was really funny. I don't know if I said best one. Yeah,
okay.
It was the season 8 of Retox episode.
Yeah, things really ramped up.
Very polarizing.
Yeah, no,
we spent a lot of money on it.
We just had a lot of good times with that one. A lot of good time. It was a fun hour. I don't know, but we had a good time doing it.
Yeah.
We had a good time doing it.
Yeah, but find it, check it out. Follow some of my social media things for updates on the show at ExoverseTV on Twitter, at Exoverse Media on Facebook and Twitter, things like that. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably didn't have any trouble finding me anyways, but
well, Andrew, we want to thank you for having us on, man. We appreciate this. We love the show.
Yeah, thank you guys, and I apologize for having the shitty ass stools. That was an oversight.
I like it.
I didn't think about chairs
I
before
like
I
it.
invited you guys over, so there was no
This made me
backs to
feel
these guys'
tall. I
chairs
like
for the
it.
last hour and a half, so that's kind of a fuck up.
I like it.
Yeah, so anyways, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next week. We're going to do Barry Season 1 and 2 reviews.
It's going to be very cool.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
I just got kicked off the show.
Burn them all.
I got to figure out. I got to up my editing skills now.
Edit that out.
Yeah, but anyways, so that's going to be fun. HBO show Barry. We're not a strictly HBO podcast or anything, just to let you guys know. That's just kind of the way things are falling right now. We're
HBO
also
crushes programming.
They really do, because right after Barry, we're planning on doing Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Planning on splitting the Chernobyl miniseries into...
Not yet. it's going to happen.
I've heard very good things.
Yes.
I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, and then so after that, then we will expand to some Netflix and Amazon Prime programming and stuff like that. But that's just a quick update on what's coming over the next couple of weeks. And once again, thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.